At the end of every NBA season, we watch as beloved players retire from the game of basketball. Players that have brought us endless hours of enjoyment and memories that will last us a lifetime. With the end of the regular season now behind us, I want to pay respect towards some of the older players of the league. Guys that were once the cornerstone of franchises, but now find themselves in a completely different role. How would the league fare today if every team's oldest players were still in their prime? Yo, what's going on, guys? KrispyFlakes here. For today's video, we are going to pay respect towards some of the old players of the NBA, some of the legends that are now going to retire, or some of the guys that are up there in age that are just no longer as good as they once were. So my roster creator, Lil saying BB21, went out there and maybe this roster, man, and basically how it's going to go is every team's oldest NBA players are now going to be put into their prime, and we are going to simulate an entire season and see how exactly, these once great players, I mean, in some cases, some of the guys are still great, like LeBron James. Yeah, he's older and stuff now, but he's still a great player. Vince Carter, he's still, he starts for the Hawks at times, so, he's doing something out there. So yeah, man, we're going to see how the NBA would play out. Some of these guys were in their prime. So the way this roster was kind of constructed, for the most part, it was just like the oldest player on each team. Now, in a few cases, there were guys where it's like 2 or 3 of them that should have been put in their prime that they were. So that's kind of how it's operating. So for this Philadelphia 76ers team, we got JJ Redick at the age of 34. Of course, he's still doing exactly what he's always done. That's be a great 3-point shooter. But, back on the Clippers and stuff, he had some better years on there. So he's up to an 83 overall now. For the Milwaukee Bucks, we're actually looking at prime Pau Gasol. So Gasol does not really play all that much for the Bucks, but back when he was on the Memphis Grizzlies, the Los Angeles Lakers, he was one of the best big guys in the entire league. So we have the 91 overall version of him on here. He's going to help this team out tremendously going forward. For the Chicago Bulls, I believe, yes, we have Robin Lopez. Some teams just don't really have old players on their team, and, Robin Lopez was the oldest. So he's had some pretty solid seasons. I think his best years was you would probably say on the Phoenix Suns, I believe. Yeah, he had some good seasons on there. I mean, he's not really old yet, but you know what I'm saying. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, we actually have Channing Frye at the age of 35 going up to an 80 overall player. Now, Kevin Love is only 30 himself, so there was not really any big reason to change him at all. But yeah, Channing Frye, 80 overall. He is going to be the center of this team. He's always just been a good, stretch big out there. He was kind of stretching the floor before it was really sought out. For the Boston Celtics, another team that doesn't really have any old players, but Al Horford, 88 overall. Of course, this goes back to his Atlanta Hawks days where he was an all-star. So, yeah, he's still really good on the team right now anyway. For the Clippers, we have who was the player in this case? I believe it wasn't Zubac, it wasn't Green. It was Garrett Temple. He was 32 years of age. So, yeah, he went from a 73 to a 75 overall, man. It's the best that we could do out here. And then, of course, you also got Lou Williams, who was kind of playing his best basketball. I know he's 31, but still playing his best. For the Grizzlies, we have an 87 overall Joakim Noah. So he's actually been okay for the Grizzlies this season, playing some backup minutes. But yeah, 87 overall. He was, of course, one of the better defensive players in the NBA back in the day. One of the hustle guys out there that would do everything. So him and Mike Conley should make some noise. For the Atlanta Hawks, we have a 95 overall Vince Carter being at the small forward position. Him and Trae Young looking to take over the Eastern Conference, especially John Collins, 84 overall out there. So yeah, man, we have a 95 overall Vince Carter. Cannot believe some of the things he still does at the age of 41 in the NBA. For the Miami Heat, of course, we have two Heat legends, I should say, and Dwyane Wade at 97 overall. He, of course, just played his last game. And we have Udonis Haslem. There was no way in hell, man, I was not going to put Udonis Haslem's rating up also. He's played his entire career with the Heat out there, man, and both these guys, just so much respect to them and what they've done for that franchise. For the Charlotte Hornets, we have a 94 overall Tony Parker. Of course, he spent his great days on the Spurs. Kemba's going to the shooting guard position, so he finally gets some help out there. Good for him, man. Good for him. For the Utah Jazz, we have Kyle Korver as 86 overall. He was actually 84 overall, but then I put him from shooting guard to small forward. I wanted him to start on here, and he went up to an 86 overall, so that is where he was going to reside for this video. For the Sacramento Kings, I don't think this team really had any old players. I guess we have Corey Brewer. He's up to an 80 overall now. He's just kind of been like a 10-day contract type of guy for this NBA season, but he signed with the Sacramento Kings, of course, although now they're out of the playoffs, so yeah, it doesn't matter. Also, I gotta say real quick, man, David Yeager was just fired as the coach of this team. Why does it always seems like for the Kings, it's I don't know, man, it's 1 step forward, 3 steps back. I just don't really get it. I thought Yeager did a great job with this team this season, but I guess, not making the playoffs, the GM thought otherwise. For the New York Knicks, we have DeAndre Jordan. I put him up to an 89 overall player because besides for him, you know, I want to give every team out here like a player to at least root for, because besides for him, it was Lance Thomas, and yeah, he's his rating is about what it's been his entire career. For the Los Angeles Lakers, this one actually got quite the treatment. We got LeBron James as a 99 overall. This is prime LeBron. You know, the one that actually plays defense and stuff. We got Rondo back from his Celtic days, and we got Tyson Chandler. So yeah, the Lakers definitely had a lot of help for this video, but I feel like these are three legends that definitely deserve to have their ratings upped for this scenario. For the Orlando Magic, I don't believe there was anybody too crazy for this one, if I remember correctly. Yeah, we got Mozgov. He was the oldest player, man, age 32. I guess maybe DJ Augustine, but he's playing about as good as he's ever played anyway, so this is a team that really did not get much help in this case. Dallas Mavericks, of course, man, we got Dirk Nowitzki, another legend that just played his final game. I mean, he was tearing up, you know, playing against the Spurs and stuff after the tribute. I felt so bad for him, but here we go, guys, as a 97 overall. Also up to the rating of Devin Harris because he was a beast back on the, New Jersey Nets days. He was one of the quickest guys in the NBA with the ball in his hands. It was so much fun to watch him. For the Brooklyn Nets, we have Temari Carroll going up to an 80 overall. This is going back to his Atlanta Hawks days, and that was it for that. Denver Nuggets, of course, Paul Millsap, who played most of his great basketball. He had some nice season for the Hawks, but also the Utah Jazz. Yeah, so this is a guy I actually really respect, just because he was, like, undersized coming into the NBA, and people thought he wasn't going to be anything, but now he's, like, the perfect type of forward that you would want on your team. For the Pacers, we have Wesley Matthews as an 82 overall. He was a nice pickup for this team this season. I believe that's it for that. I guess Thaddeus Young is another player we probably could have upped, but, you know, age 32, we're trying to go with the oldest players in most cases. For the Pelicans, this team actually did not really have any old players, so Ejuan Moore went from like a 75 to a 77 overall. It's the best that could be done. For the Detroit Pistons, we have an 85 overall Jose Calderon. Now, believe it or not, when this guy played for the Toronto Raptors, he's had some nice seasons, man. Like, he was always a really solid passer. His assist to turnover ratio is always one of the best in the entire league. So I know as a Piston fan, I'm happy to have him starting out this team, being in his prime. For the Toronto Raptors, of course, you got Marc Gasol, age 33, so his rating went up. And also Danny Green. Now, this one I was kind of confused by because Lil Saint didn't put up Kyle Lowry's rating because he's older than Danny Green is. But unless, is Danny Green, am I just like, is he old? Is he older than 31? Because, I don't know, man. I went over here and I put up Marc Gasol's rating for this one. But I guess you could also probably argue Kyle Lowry. For the Houston Rockets, you do have a prime Chris Paul, age 24. So him and James Harden about to make some noise out there in the Western Conference. For the San Antonio Spurs, another team that didn't really have any extremely old players. Lamarcus Aldridge was the oldest at 33, so, you know, he's already pretty much playing his best basketball, so not a lot of changes there. I guess maybe he could have made a change to Rudy Gay, but he's also filling his role out there, so that should be fine. For the Phoenix Suns, we have an 87 overall Jamal Crawford, one of the best six men to ever play the game of basketball, just had a 50-piece game. And what could be his final game for the team? OKC Thunder, you got Raymond Felton as a 79 overall point guard. He actually had some nice seasons for like the New York Knicks, if I remember correctly. So him and Schroeder should make a nice little backcourt off the bench. Timberwolves, Luol Deng as an 86 overall. Yes, I completely forgot he was even on this team. I don't think he plays at all, but being the age he was, so he goes with 86. Portland Trailblazers, you got Evan Turner, I believe, was listed as like the oldest player on the team. So, you know, got him as an 80 overall now, so that contract's a bit better now at least. Golden State Warriors, you have, of course, Pink Diamond Finals MVP Andre Iguodala playing some of his best basketball, man, going back to the age of 24. Washington Wizards, we have an age 25, 95 overall Dwight Howard teaming up with John Wall and Bradley Beal. This is actually like low-key my sleeper team for the Eastern Conference to make it to the finals. Trevor Ariza also got to an 80 overall for this. And that is every single team, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I am going to simulate the playoffs. We're going to see how these teams do out there, man. I want to know from you guys in the comment section below, who is like the oldest player in the NBA that, you know, somebody that could be retiring or somebody that's pretty near retirement that's just no longer as good as they once were, that you are really going to miss. Me, it's obviously Dirk Nowitzki, man. Also, I miss like prime Dwight Howard. He was such a beast. But let's go ahead and simulate this and see how these teams can do. Okay, so the Washington Wizards went 56-25. So my predictions with that was pretty good. Let's go ahead and simulate through this last game of the season. Took an L to the Boston Celtics. MVP, come on, Vince Carter. Okay, it's Stephen Curry, Luka Doncic, Rookie of the Year. Andre Iguodala, 6, man. That makes complete sense. 19 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists for him. Yeah, I don't think anybody's going to beat the Warriors in this simulation, though. Just like they already have the best starting 5, plus you add on an 87 overall Iguodala, it's game over. We have Dwight Howard winning Defensive Player of the Year, man. That's right in the feels right there, bro. 19 points, 12 rebounds, 3 blocks per game, also about 1 to 2 steals. Chris Paul, the most improved player at 18 points, 13 assists. Now, I would say I'm overwhelmed by those stats, but he seems to always do that good in this game anyway. I don't know why. The simulation really likes Chris Paul, and we have Steve Kerr as Coach of the Year. All-NBA first, and we got Curry, we got Dwyane Wade, Dirk Nowitzki. That just feels so right, man. I love it, man. I absolutely love it. And then we got LeBron James and Nikola Jokic. All-NBA second. No replacement players here. And then All-NBA third, we got Tony Parker actually making that with Vince Carter. And, of course, the new Chris Paul. The old Chris Paul, I should say, I guess. The old, youngish Chris Paul. All defense teams, Dwyane Wade making that, LeBron and Dwight. All defensive second, we got Luol Deng. Yeah, that makes complete sense to me. And Rajon Rondo. And then we got the rest of the rookies out here too, man. Playoff-wise, we got Milwaukee, Detroit, Boston, Toronto, Philly, Miami, Washington, and Charlotte. We got Golden State, Memphis, OKC, Utah, Lakers, Minnesota, and Houston, Denver. Real quick, what we're going to do is just go to the league leaders so you guys can see like how some of these players did. We got Dwyane Wade leading the entire NBA in scoring. Dirk Nowitzki at 11th in the NBA. We got Vince Carter at 12th. And LeBron James doing his thing out there. All right, I'll go like the top 50 players just so you guys can see all that. Jamal Crawford had 20 points a game, 6 assists. Although I did put him as the starting point guard and not as a 6-man just because I just could not justify putting Jamal Crawford on the bench when the team literally does not have a point guard at all. So there's the top 50 scores right there. What we're going to do now, guys, is simulate these playoffs and see who wins. I'm going to say Golden State and Washington in the finals, man. That is my prediction. So simulate playoffs, see how this goes across the board. Although Milwaukee with Pau Gasol could definitely make a run for the money. We got Dwyane Wade getting eliminated by the Philadelphia 76ers. Timberwolves gone. OKC gone. Denver Nuggets gone. All right, we got the Charlotte Hornets being eliminated. Memphis Grizzlies eliminated. Boston gone also in the first round, man. Okay. Well, here is the second round looking like this. So far, my predictions are holding up. It looks like Philly's going to get Washington. Yes, Washington eliminated. The Bucks are gone now, too. We got Toronto, Philly. LeBron and the Lakers are gone. Jazz is gone. We got Golden State, Houston, Philly, Toronto. And the finals is going to be... Who's going to be here, man? We got Golden State Warriors, of course, against Marc Gasol, Kawhi Leonard, and the Toronto Raptors. And we have the Warriors winning in 4, man. Damn, these simulations just like you can almost predict what's gonna happen. It's like you got the Warriors, you add on another great player like Iguodala. Of course, the team is going to win it all, but that's what it's looking like here, my friends. Hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I love doing these what-if simulations. Hope you guys enjoyed them also. But yeah, man, be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.